Coming up on Net Zero at the half, we'll hear from Portland's all-star forward Rasheed Wallace. Talented but temperamental. He's lost his cool several times this season.
Number 30, Rasheed Wallace.
And a technical foul on Wallace.
With them saying that that's hurt my team is negative, me leading the league with 21 technicals, negativity sells.
He's got to stop that. He's too good a player.
We'll talk with Rasheed about that. We will also see his softer side as the devoted dad of 3 boys. The only all-star on the NBA's winningest team, the Trailblazers' Rasheed Wallace, coming up at halftime.
And I suggest to you that that's what I would probably do, because I think they don't win without him.
There's a little confrontation with J.R. Reed and Vlade Divac. Del Harris quickly out.
And Del Harris is saying, I don't want to trade you for Reed. I want you on the floor.
Looks like J.R. Reed's going to be called for the infraction. Look on the left side.
Vlade just threw his right arm into Reed. Reed took offense with it. Here's a better look at it.
Terry Durham steps in between the two. A double technical foul is called. Look at San Antonio and the Lakers. Technical foul on Del Negro.
A great hustle play by Del Negro over the top, gets called for the foul, then slams the ball. Let's take a look. He thought he had a clean steal. Official saw it otherwise. Technical foul.
Van Exel hits the technical free throw. And that increases the lead to 4.
There's the kick out for Longley. Again, from Rodman this time. Longley says, I'll take 2.
Mutombo.
About his lineup.
They don't have a true center in there.
Woolridge working against McHale. The basket is good and a foul. Orlando Woolridge gets the hoop. And Woolridge now with 19 points.
You know what I think it is, Dick? I think that Stan Albeck really feels that there's not enough good one-on-one defenders on the Celtics. Here's the move by Woolridge against McHale. He feels McHale can't guard Woolridge.
And determined. And right from the start, this rivalry was evident.
You got Nashburn who can run, Marley who can run, but the point guard can't deliver. Larry Johnson called for a foul and is just about, yes, is teed up. And now Larry Johnson throwing Charlie Ward out of the way.
Real hot with Charlie Ward saying, I know what I'm doing. And Charlie said, hey, you need to simmer down. We need you. This game is a long way from done.
So Tim Hardaway, an 83% free throw shooter in the regular season. And how much emotional pain does Tim Hardaway have in his life right now? He's lived for these moments. One of the top players of the last decade. Now he's got a bad foot, and this foul called on Larry Johnson on the reception of the ball, and then he just goes and gets right in the face of referee Dan Crawford, who will have none of it.
So now Mourning on the personal foul will go to the free throw line as Charlie Ward tries to restrain LJ. Alonzo has 20 points. Now
back in that position where it seems as though the Miami Heat are really on their heels, but you look at the scoreboard, they're only down 3.
Oui, la défense veut bloquer le jeu dans la raquette, c'est clair.
Ah ouais, grosse faute là.
C'est une autre façon de gêner Olajuwon, c'était de le plaquer.
Terry Cummings, on va le revoir au ralenti.
D'ailleurs, ces deux hommes-là se respectent.
The Lakers sing that way. Bob Hill doesn't agree. Terry Durham's going over. It looks like he's upset at someone on the bench. Maybe Jack Haley. Bob Hill steps in front of him, and now Sabalas wants a technical foul.
Morning, his 17-footer no good. The rebound is off to Travis Knight, gaining experience by the second. Long lead to Shaq, ahead of the pack. Score! Shit! Be careful, be careful. Shaq's laying it across the top of the press table down there. And give Alonzo Mourning credit. He reaches in there and says, if you're hurt, I won't move you. Otherwise, I'll pull you up.
Plus pen.
Boy, that was a tough one. 80 to 70. 7:10 left to play. Ball goes over to Brown. Comes in deep again. Puts it up. No good. Rebound is off, and a foul is on Knight. Knight the foul, and Mourning pushes him away in disgust.
Mourning pushed him away because he said, man, you're standing on my corn. Get off my foot.
All right, at the end of the play, there was a little action. There's the missed shot. Here comes Knight fouling Mourning, jumping into him. Mourning says, get out of here, Slim.
Little intimidation there for the Rook.
80 to 70.
Großen Alternativen bei den Cavaliers, wenn es unter dem Brett nicht funktioniert, und das verteidigen die Bulls im Moment sehr gut. Foul von Vitali Potapenko an Scottie Pippen. Unsportliches Foul, wenn ich das richtig deute, denn alle Spieler verziehen sich da erstmal aus der Zone. Ja, richtige Entscheidung beim Schiedsrichter. Potapenko geht nicht nach dem Ball, sondern nur nach dem Körper von Scottie Pippen. Ganz eindeutig. Es geht weiter mit 2 Freiwürfen für Scottie Pippen. Also Respekt an Scottie Pippen. Hier sehen wir das Foul nochmal. Naja, vor 3-4 Jahren, da wäre er vielleicht aufgesprungen und hätte Vitali Potapenko da vielleicht einen vor den Latz geknallt. Also Scottie Pippen.
Knicks up by 5, 6 minutes remaining in the third. Houston, yes.
And a lot of shoving going on. Ori and Harrington now. Both will be assessed with the technical.
Robert Ori and Othello Harrington. Double technicals are called.
And they're going to get Harrington out of the game because he's very upset now. So Spoon will check in to replace him. See what happened underneath the screen. Left side of your screen right there. You see they're entwined. Ori shoved off, so did Harrington. Good job by the officials to get this game under control. So the Lakers have it in the backcourt.
And Othello Harrington was upset a moment ago, which led to the push with Robert Ori. Yeah, that's the reason he was upset.
Forearm shiver by Ori. No foul call.
And that continued down at the other end, leading to the double technical on Robert Ori and Othello Harrington, who is feeling a bit better about things at this moment.
That's why Cheney put him on the bench, so he can regain his composure.
Shot clock to 5. They double up on Houston. Anderson, can he get it off? He does. And scores! Brandon Anderson with the bucket. And double technicals coming up. Kurt Thomas involved. Looks like Devin George involved.
We already saw Ori and Harrington previously in the game.
Gary Benson, the official, coming over to the near side.
Center of your screen. There's Thomas. There's George shoving him off. Right there, George with a flagrant elbow. He should have been charged with a flagrant foul. Hit Thomas in the jaw with his elbow.
And immediately, Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell went over to Kurt Thomas and said, settle down.
Attaqué par Eddie Jones, bon ballon. C'était pour Strickland, qu'on voit souvent de
réalité. Il demande la alley-oop, mais il est un tout petit peu court.
De retour à Los Angeles, Lakers face à Vancouver ont l'occasion d'égaler le...
Trakiem. Tak, taki szybki wyrzut piłki, żeby uniknąć bloku, przecież tam był szak pod koszem.
Faulował Kenny Thomas.
Szak szybko przenosi piłkę nad głowę i bardzo trudno go złapać na taki błąd.
No ale dzisiaj w grze Szaka nie widać konfliktów z Kobe Bryantem. Zresztą ten okres wspólnej gry w Lakers jest taki bardzo zmienny dla obu tych ciemnoskórych dżentelmenów. Przypomnijmy, że już w poprzednim sezonie dochodziło do konfliktów. Tak naprawdę.
Kevin Johnson accelerating and had it knocked away. It'll be Phoenix ball. Horace Grant returns, replacing Scott Williams.
KJ trying to get to the hole, sees a lot of red shirts step up, something that was very familiar in the New York against Chicago series, maybe something he didn't see as much against Seattle, the lane closing down that quickly.
So, jetzt wird hier einer verhaftet. Eieiei, jetzt bin ich mal gespannt. Da muss irgendwas gewesen sein mit einem Fan, denke ich mal, der wüste Beschimpfungen losgelassen hat. Denn ein Spieler wird normalerweise nicht von Polizisten bestraft. Es geht... Aha. Geht an den Fan. Körperlich kommen die beiden sich relativ nah, was den Bauchumfang betrifft. Der Polizist und der Fan. Wie wüste Beschimpfungen in Richtung der Phoenix Suns durch diesen Herrn gegeben haben.
Contagious, and Bison Dele can make those kind of passes. Did a beautiful job there.
Gary Payton with the offensive foul. Bushler holds his ground, and Payton lets Jess Kersey knows what he thinks of the call.
For Gary Payton, not happy with this call. Gave Jess Kersey a piece of his mind. Jess turned away.
All right, Anna, thank you. Gary Payton had his chance to be a free agent a couple of years ago, stayed with Seattle, but he's just been hit with a technical foul after that offensive foul called on him. And he went after Jess Kersey. Not only argued with him at first, as this was him yelling at him, but came back a second time. Kersey hit him with a technical foul. And quite honestly, Kersey could have hit him with a second one and thrown him out of the game. I thought Jess Kersey showed a lot of restraint.
Yeah, Gary right there is almost begging for that second technical. He looks up at that scoreboard. Team is down 21. It's almost like Jess Kersey is saying, hey, your team's down 21. Your team's playing lousy. I got to be here. You got to be here.
But good officiating from Kersey and turning his back and letting Payton air out his feelings, and then Payton settled down eventually.
Quiet 7 points and 3 assists for Gary at this point, and not that he personally was smoked by Lindsey Hunter out of the shoot, but that was his man. Gary was trying to help out on other people, and there's no question the frustration mounting right now for the Sonics.
Payton's averaging career-high numbers, and again without Baker, he's got to do a little bit more.
Harpering, who was tangling with Mourning on the rebound after the free throw, or the potential rebound, has been called for the technical foul. Starts, and Goliak at the bench have been superb today. Here's a look at what happened.
Well, that's pretty cute. Yeah, whatever that was, it's pretty cute.
Well, we've already seen that Harpering is so competitive. He said he likes to win, even playing cards or whatever. He can't stand to lose. He has that football background. Virtually every other male member of his family has been a football player. Chuck Daly said when he first came to training camp, he was impressed with his toughness when he went toe-to-toe with Bo Outlaw. He went toe-to-toe with Dennis Rodman last week and Alonzo Mourning today.
Teams in the league. The basket by Chris Morris, but then Karl Malone goes to the hoop past Chris Shackelford. And then look at Karl Malone. Is he an all-star or what? Look at this play. Makes the steal, over the head pass to Delaney Rudd. Was 11 points subbing for Stockton.
Transition defense from the Pistons. And an offensive foul. Malone upset with the call. It looked like he was going to throw the ball at David Jones. Instead, just flips it up in the air as Malone picks up his first.
Well, and all these collisions in the past, calls have been going against Christian Laettner. This time, Karl Malone figures, hey, I've been getting away with banging him all over the lot. I might as well keep doing it. This time, Laettner gets the call, and then a mock almost throw of the ball at the official by Karl Malone. He's got to be careful.
That was clearly a good call as Malone pushed off. And another travel. Malone backing up again, playing some mind games. Laettner and Malone have been going at it from the opening tip.
It's the old Rick Mahorn style of defense in the low post. Give pressure, let the man feel your body, and then as soon as you anticipate him starting to make his move, give ground, and then he has nobody to lean against, and generally it's a walk or a fall down.
And, of course, had the all-star break. Malone, tough fall-away shot from Malone. Isley the rebound, but he pushed off to get it. And Howard Isley has words with Lindsey Hunter. And Joe Forte quickly separating the two. And they're going to have a double technical. Hunter and Isley each with technical fouls. You do not shoot any free throws on a double technical.
Well, Lindsey Hunter has been feeling his oats the last few minutes. First of all, he's having an outstanding offensive game with 21 points. On a previous sequence down at the other end of the floor, he got tangled up with Greg Ostertag and had some words for him. Lindsey Hunter and Howard Isley get tangled up on the weak side, and Hunter boxing Al Isley there, and Isley giving a little shot to try to hold Hunter inside to secure that rebound.
And Hunter with a little right elbow. Isley's another guy who's going to be a free agent after this year. Jazz have to make decisions on him. Mills gets Ostertag up in the air. And
does have a little bit of a low post game.
Nice feed from Isley to Gilliam. Gilliam hammered hard. Leitner and Mills around him. Leitner is shaken up on the play.
Power forward, a big forward. He's lost a lot of weight, a lot of strength. He's doing a lot of banging inside. That time off balance, coming down hard on Armin Gilliam, but hurting himself in the process as he goes to the bench, and trainer Mike
fires away. Short. Leitner whacked in the face by Gilliam. And the Pistons will call timeout.
It's been a rough afternoon for Christian Laettner. Grant Hill forced to take this shot. Shot clock winding down, and then whack right in the face from Armin Gilliam.
So while Laettner gets attended to, the Pistons will talk it over. They lead by 4, just over 4 remaining, fourth quarter in Utah. 2 on the shot clock. Russell does not get it off in time. Hornacek grabs the rebound. They say yes. There's no way. He did not get it off in time. And the buzzer sounds. Alvin Gentry can't believe it. Hornacek appeared to have the ball in his hand. That should have been a 24-second violation, Matt.
Everybody stopped, Mike, except Jeff Hornacek. He chased that ball down. Brian Russell was leaning in, trying to get the foul, and it looks like the officials are leaving the floor here, and I think Alvin Gentry has every right to be upset here.
I was shocked. I had him called for the 24-second violation. You can't hear the whistle here, but you could hear the buzzer, and the ball appeared to still be in the hands of the shooter. And Gentry, one of the true gentlemen of the NBA, losing his temper. And that will be the 9th straight road loss. Let's take a peek.
You see the shot clock in the bottom left hand of your screen. He's going to hesitate, lean in here, and it's clearly double zeros before he releases the ball. Would have been 3.2 seconds or 3 seconds left as Hornacek chased it down.
Oh, Gentry has a legitimate gripe on that time. Again, what the officials go by is the buzzer. They normally go by the sound of the buzzer, which obviously goes along with the shot clock, and you could hear the buzzer and still see the ball in Russell's hands. And what a heartbreaking loss for Gets it. That's not even close. That's not even close. And Alvin Gentry had a right to be upset. The official just missed that one.
Now, after the basket, Hardaway and Monty Williams get into it. Hardaway, ejected, tries to go after the ref. What happened to positivity, professionalism, maturity, class as he leaves the court? What happened to respecting other people's property? And there goes the TV. Armstrong, he's got class. He'll plug it back in. But you ain't getting no more picture out of this one. Take a look.
Plug it in, get it working, received a standing ovation.
His word on professionalism, but to be professional, we'll let you know. Hardaway and Armstrong autographed the monitor to be auctioned off for a charity.
Tonight on the Magic win over Denver, Tim Hardaway, a bit upset, goes to the press table and fires the television set.
Hey, it may be a new millennium, but remember, television is still a good thing. Really, it is. We'll keep you tuned in on This Week in the NBA.
That is the warning. Shaquille with the power move as Hubert Davis hit the 2:34 remaining in this first half. Timeout has been called by Orlando.
Oh, Shaq's going to get his basket. Hubert Davis disappears underneath him. And at the offensive end, Shaq says, Tolbert, move out of the way. Let me get this one, Tommy.
1 point in the fourth quarter. Here's Sparks. Stopped by Shaquille.
The mistake you think is going to lead to 2 points. Instead, it's the ball out of bounds.
Seconds to go in the third overtime. Williams. O'Neal.
Ball is on the way down, then it is 2 points. The officials felt that Shaquille got it up at the top and that it was not coming down, therefore they allowed it. New York, well, they just don't quite agree to that one.
Timeout is time. Orlando defeats.
And see if you can turn the corner, and if not, then step back and try to rescreen and go back to the middle.
And they just teed up Jerry Sloan.
See, I think that's a good technical if you're Jerry Sloan. You know how important this game is, and you have to bring your fire and energy tonight to your team.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
Well, after that play by Adam Keefe, Jerry Sloan hollered over to Steve Javie. He said, hey, that's an illegal defense. Javie looked over at Jerry Sloan and said, hey, you're right. Jerry Sloan said, if I'm right, why don't you call it? What are you doing out there? And he slapped him with the tee. Bob?
Is it possible, Isaiah and Doug, that the Bulls will be caught in several illegal defenses tonight, or enough will be called to get them out of whatever they're doing? There's his floater again. This one gets nothing but air. And Utah's going to keep it off Chicago. The Jazz aren't exactly putting on an offensive exhibition here, but they do have 53 points after scoring 54.
Avent looking in tight traffic, and Frank Brickowski just throws Doc Rivers to the ground. Well, they were both grabbing for the ball, and Brickowski at 6'10" has all kinds of strength and leverage. And Doc Rivers just went along for the ride. What a show of power for Brickowski. Yes, arm strength, that left arm. Well, Doc Rivers will sit now after the foul called on Brickowski. Anthony Mason off the bench with Greg Anthony.
Well, Charles Barkley knows a little something about lack of payments. He was back in action tonight for Phoenix after sitting out a game without pay and being slapped with a $10,000 fine by the league for chasing an official. Tonight, all Charles and the Suns did was chase down the Bullets, whose fans no doubt appreciated the fact that they would get to see Barkley play. Something of a Charles tribute. Then the mascots with a tribute to his chasing the official, only this time, the Prey.
Flash. Clinton pardons Sir Charles. Maybe it'll take that. And the ball heads there to welcome Barkley and hoping to spark the Bullets past the Suns.
By the way, when the Bullets met the Pacers Tuesday night, it wasn't always pretty. The NBA today slapped Purvis Ellison with a $3,500 fine for throwing that punch at Rick Smits, while the Indiana forward was tagged $1 grand for shoving Ellison. 2 other Bullets and 7 Pacers were each fined $500 for leaving the bench during the incident. It sounds pretty one-sided to me, Nick.
Well, the Bullets said today again the only reason they let Bernard King go yesterday was age. King is 36 and had been out 16 months rehabbing his knee. He had remained removed from the team, so when he showed up for practice New Year's Day, the Bullets were stunned. King harshly criticized the club then for not deciding on what to do with him, and then got into a shoving and shouting match with coach Wes Unseld, bad idea, who was asked today if that confrontation had anything to do with letting Bernard go.
We're dealing with very highly emotional and rightly so egotistical individuals, including myself. So those things are expected. There were no grudges at all held because of some of the things that are said and done. This happens every day in practice. Guys fight out here on the court and go out to lunch right afterwards. So nothing is held personally.
He had not played in a year and a half, so it's not like he would come in there and drastically things would change.
Well, some team members were surprised by the action, but admit the atmosphere is less tense without King. King says his knee's fine and he's free to sign with any team that's interested, but he really seemed to alienate himself, just working out alone, never reporting in for all those months. But he was such a plus for so many years for the Bullets.
And you got to think that there's somebody out there who thinks that ego and that emotion can be turned into a positive.
At 8 points, Vlade Divac just using Brown. Lakers by 3 after the first quarter. Then in the second, the Jazz bench answers. Jay Humphries waiting out in the wing, nobody near him. He had 9 in the first half, but it was a 1-point game. Vlade Divac trying to take on the entire Jazz team. And then when the action continued, Stockton didn't need to assist anyone, takes it himself.
By the time it was over, the Knicks had a victory while several Nugget players were labeling the Knicks as the NBA's dirtiest team. Tonight, Dikembe Mutombo and the Denver Nuggets will be force-fed another helping of the New York Knicks.
W regularnym sezonie Jazzmeni byli zdecydowanie lepsi, ale ostatnio Portland grał wyśmienicie, podczas gdy Karl Malone i jego koledzy w końcówce tracili siły. Wyraźnie mści się fakt, że nie ma
Miami Heat, zwyciężając w ostatecznej rywalizacji 4-1. W piątym meczu Chicago.
Po tym meczu obejrzą sobie film, ustalą nową taktykę, krycie, ale my musimy zrobić to samo. Czegokolwiek byśmy jednak nie powiedzieli, Miami grało naprawdę dobrze. W drugim spotkaniu mówiło się
And this foul is going to go against the Jazz.
But the defense of Hakeem Olajuwon.
Technical foul has been called on Jerry Sloan. And Eddie Johnson converts. The foul was on Karl Malone, his third, and the Rockets have called time with 7:26 to play in regulation. This is the play on which Malone was whistled for his third personal.
Off the pick and roll, there's Stockton. That's what Jerry Sloan wants, is the foul right there. He doesn't care about this reach in by Karl Malone.
He's made a couple of good defensive plays. And Sprewell is blocked by Anthony. See how difficult it is to deal with Sprewell, to contain him. He is so aggressive offensively, you've got to challenge him. You've got to be distracting him, waving the arms, moving the feet. If you stand there and watch Sprewell, he's going to go around you. He's so quick. You've got to be aggressive on him.
From bagging groceries to the CBA to his first All-Star game. Starks able to whip by him. And Ewing rebounds. Starks in the open floor with ball back and goes at him and is rejected. I mean, they just continue to tap. Will be delighted to see him go back to the bench.
Yes, so he can go into his low post game, but he's adjusted. Ewing has adjusted now quite well. Well, John Starks reminds me of Greg Anthony challenging Hakeem Olajuwon at the conclusion of the game last week in Houston. And to really finish things and make it a perfect end-to-end.
Game is underway. This is the Knicks and the Sixers. We're going to go to this? Yes, we are. Manute Bol, you see, the Sixers going for their 7th win in a row at home. And Manute gets a good start, rejecting Patrick once, then rejecting Ewing again. 3 blocks for Bol in the first quarter. So look, Jack Madden, this is how I do it.
That's what they paid for.
They isolate Larry Johnson with Charles Oakley. Kendall Gill getting down low. So he's hit his last 2 after missing his first 6, and the Hornets with their biggest lead of the night.
Boy, is Gill quick at 6'6".
And John Starks very quick with that release. 17 for Starks, 74-67. Charlotte with the lead. And the call made away from the ball. Starks and Gill face to face, having words. Now was Gill pushing Starks, and let's see how Hugh Evans handles it.
But you know, Marv, Starks is asking for it. Gill said some words to him. Starks was walking up court, stopped in his tracks, invited Gill into that. And John loves that kind of conflict when he gets another player rattled. He wanted more.
Double technicals called on John Starks and Kendall Gill.
Starks just, fell into the trap. If he kept walking, nothing would have happened.
Here's the eye-opener of the week, and this one took some air out of Jordan.
no, it ain't the shoes. But later, Michael gets his revenge, telling Nick, I don't want to hear one more word about that missed dunk. You hear me? And Phil Jackson seemed to get a kick out of Michael's bloody nose. The Bullets heckler shows up in New York to read the riot act to Jordan. And the Knicks take a page out of Michael's book as Gerald Wilkins throws it down. Dick Bavetta says see ya to Phil Jackson, but Phil, trying to make it look good, shows how to get thrown out of a game in style. Phil waving goodbye to the Cardinal crowd. And the Phoenix fans raised the roof. How loud was it? Too many decibels for Dick. Silence the Suns in double OT. Mike Dunleavy is done leaving, resigning as Laker coach to return to Milwaukee, where he used to do everything. And Bill Fitch can finally relax. He resigned as the Nets coach.
Make it. All right. We kind of got behind here. Let's pick it up. I hate it when that happens. That was Alfonso Ellis. All right, some plays that will actually, you won't believe them unless you see them.
How about Kevin McHale, frustrated quarterback, connecting on a sideline route with Bango in Milwaukee? How about Scottie Pippen? He's out of bounds. But in the clutches of the Love of Bulls, he just doesn't seem to mind very much.